I've seen a lot of things.
All right. And if you are not muted, go ahead and please mute yourself. I got a few that aren't muted and I can hear some TVs and things going. So we've not been together for a couple weeks. So welcome everybody. Hopefully the reason you weren't on last week, you got to experience JP live. And that was just such an amazing, amazing place to be and an experience. And we talked about that. The people that gave their first-time attendee takeaways, wow, like I literally felt like some of them were giving the beginning of their NMD speeches. I was in tears. I'm so glad for the takeaways that they got because like Jamie Mercer said, we can't bottle it up. We can't tell you what happened. It's not that easy. I wish it was that simple, but it's really not. So I'm going to tell you all, you are working towards a jackpot business. You can be wherever you want to be in Phoenix. You could be, you know, if you're not a sales coordinator yet, you could easily be a POB sales coordinator going into Phoenix. If you are already a sales coordinator, you could be an SSC going into Phoenix. It just depends on what you're willing to invest into your business right now. And so tonight, I know some of you already heard this, but I'm going to give you really bulleted examples that Gina Zervas and Shelly Long and I trained at the Team Say Yes More Often wrap up with Christine April. And so it won't be as long. It'll be short and sweet. But I want you to really think about these. And then, you know, Jamie might want to jump in. She was has a little bit, we were talking back and forth on Voxer about just talking about your story a little bit more. We just want to keep bringing that to the front. You've got to get that story so you're so comfortable sharing. And they gave you such great tips at conference, how to do that. Loretta Koch just told us she's got a video coming to us about how to invite for events. So you have all the tools that you need for sure. So this is what I'm going to tell you. At conference, we talked about one person over here on this side, you know, is a VF, and this person over here is a VF. And then they work their way towards sales coordinator. And the difference is person A has 700 PVC in their column 4. Okay, so we know we've talked about your PVC report. Column 4 is where if you have 1,000 points, you are a qualified business, right? But we want you to be looking at that column 6. We want you to have 1,000 points in column 6 and be a jackpot business, because the difference is that if you're not solidly qualified yourself, then what happens is as your team moves up and say you know, you're a VF or a sales coordinator and they promote to VF, all their points don't roll up to you anymore and you might fall out of qualification, okay? So what we talked about is this person A had 700 points and they had 3 team members with them, because remember, your frontline dealers and DDs can feed into you, and that's fine. That's how we all kind of start out. We bring in team, and that's smart. You want to bring in team with you. You don't want to work all your way to qualification by yourself and have no team members there. All right, it just makes it harder. But what we want to do is be working again on that column 6. So this person qualified with their team. This person over here, person B, qualified by themselves. And then their team members started rolling in orders. So all that was just extra icing on the cake. All right. The difference was the first person who had to use their team got their 5% qualification bonus, and their qualification bonus was worth $15. Person B, who was self-qualified and had 3 team members that were starting to bring in orders, their qualification bonus was $150. So that's a big difference right there. So you can imagine how when, you know, you build a team of 150 people, and then you build a team of 300, and you build a team like Brandy Foss has of over 1,000 people, where that difference of solidly qualified versus, you know, self-qualified versus using your team. Does everybody understand that difference? I mean, it really just, that's what residual income is. It's compound interest, like in your bank. So we really want to hammer that into you. And I know I talk super fast, but I'm watching the time too, and I want to respect that. So what happens is, in my example at that closeout was, person A built a 12 club, all right? And this is the person that is using their team to qualify. So their 12 club followed their example, and none of those people are self-qualified. I actually reached out to real people for this example, so we kind of said that at the wrap, but it got said really fast. So these are people I called on the phone during conference and said, hey, I need to know something. I know this is really, really private. Will you tell me your paycheck? And I will not tell anyone who you are. So National Marketing Director, 12 Club, with no self-qualified business, making about it was $2,875, so just under $2,900 as a National Marketing Director. This person over here just hit 12 Club, got to go to Elton's for the first time, and she said that she had 8 of her 12, not all of them, but 8 of her 12 were self-qualified. As a qualifying National Marketing Director, and her paycheck was $4,600. So that's why Jamie and I are working with you guys, and Megan too. I don't know if she got on tonight. Oh, there she is, Megan. Hey. So we want you guys to really have a great paycheck experience. It's not that we don't want you to get promoted to the next level, but we want you to be so solid that your team sees what you did and they duplicate what you did, right? Our teams will always duplicate what we do. So if we bring in no customers, your team will do the same. If you bring in no distributors, your team will do the same. That's what I always tell my team. We're looking at their coaching. I'm like, the 12-month analysis doesn't lie. So if you are consistently bringing in new customers, new team, and your team sees that, that's what they're going to duplicate. So, that's a big difference. And I'm sure most of you would much rather be one lower title as you work your way up and be making, like, what is that, $2,500 more? Oh, it's almost double. So as you duplicate, sorry, hold up. As you duplicate those jackpots, I promise you the titles will come. They will come. But you want to make sure that you've got solid customer base there. And then that's what you're teaching your team to do. And I know Megan is a genius at that. She did a team training for my team back in, I want to say January. And that was like one of their favorite calls ever, that she talked about, loading the top of the month. And so Megan, feel free to pipe in here. But, she talked about, like, okay, we do all these events, and that way towards the end of the month, those people decide to become reps, then they can, join the team at that point, and they're set up for success to become BFs and qualify going into the next month. Mm-hmm. Want to add anything there, Megan?
Yeah, what I will probably add is just probably a really raw sense of gut check realism, because it's kind of that hurried state to go fast. And I guess what I would have called it getting there really effectively originally, I have been dumbfounded to see the changes in my check as our team has gotten what I would call beefier versus really thin. And what I mean by that is when we hit 39 Club, we had 50 BFs, and they were all just squeaking up there to get there. And now that we've had some more time in and people have really built their customer bases, we are no longer writing 39 qualifiers. We are, down more towards 24, but my check is actually larger than it was then, because it is a much meatier qualification in which people aren't squeaking by at 1,001 point, with their DD legs and their dealers, but rather they're really working to grow their customer bases and qualifying at a much heavier, solid base. And it is really remarkable to see how different that looks. And that's why I think it's really, really cool that now we've transitioned from kind of reaching for those titles to really reaching for those paychecks, because then that is totally what matters, is when you can get to that solid place where financially those goals mean a lot more than that title necessarily means. Do we want to help you get to your highest commission? Absolutely. We absolutely want to help you get there, because you don't leave money on the table. But from there, really creating that meatier paycheck is so much more important. And Karen's totally right. Whatever you duplicate, your team's going to duplicate. If they continue to see you add in new teammates and new customers month after month going for those royal crowns, they're going to do the same. They're going to get that. That's what's important, and that's what's getting you to that next level, and to just really follow in your footsteps in that sense.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because I know, you know, Jamie and I've experienced that, you know, getting up to higher qualification clubs and having a couple, you know, and having some drop back. And yet I know that at some of my lower club levels, I was making more because I had more self-qualified businesses within my organization. So Jamie, do you want to say anything about that? And I know you want to talk about stories a little before we wrap up and leave a couple minutes for Q&A.
I'll add just a little bit in that. So just coaching of where we're at in the month. So next Tuesday is October 31st. So that's the end of the month. And then Wednesday will be qualifiers day. And so it's really important. I know so many of you were super, super close to hitting that jackpot business last month. And we have been working really, really hard this month, October, and talking about our stories and just getting really comfortable sharing that really profound, strong story that happens in just a short period of time, 20, 30 seconds, because we don't want to throw up on people, right? So you've recorded your videos and you're getting more comfortable sharing it. And I know you've shared it with a lot of people because we've been challenging you to share your stories with tons of people. So now I just can't help but think that there's probably a lot of follow-up that could be done in the next 8 days, right? Because you've been sharing tons of stories. So I have no doubt whatsoever that so many of you could hit that 1,000 this month and get that 5% bonus. I have no doubt because I know so many of you have been close the past couple of months. And I know you've been sharing your story a ton of times this month of October. Hang on. So he needs a song to go to bed.
It's fine. It's fine.
No, so just know that, yeah, we're close. And yeah, Karen, go ahead and take over.
Hey! And isn't it awesome that this is a business we get to do with our children? You know what brought me so much joy, you guys? And I'll have to share a Facebook post on it later. I took a lot of pictures of moms holding kids and grandmas holding kids and things like that around conference because I have a lot of friends in other network businesses that they're not allowed to bring children. I know that's totally off. Yeah. That just warms my heart to see Jamie and her little guy right there. I mean, that's what this is about. And we talked about, like, on the call, Megan said something about the culture of acceptance and feeling more in part. And we really are. We're such a close community and close family. And sometimes you come home and you get this, you know, so just embrace that. But the one thing I wanted to say about the follow-up that, you know, and Jamie, if you want to come back in, feel free. But the follow-up is you guys had that awesome training with Christine April. That's where we left off. And I saw some of the homework posts, but there probably could be more. Hopefully you dove into that genealogy report. Omegas are free for everybody to share now. It doesn't matter what level you are. So a lot of you put as your homework that you noticed that maybe you need to follow up with people, that you had a lot of people on duos or a lot of people just on shakes. So this is a great time to go back because the brand new order forms, if you weren't, I didn't even get into Promo Plus. That's how busy I was. But get on the website. I know Brandy's going to be downloading, she said, so that we can share. But they paired a lot of things. And so what Paolo said, our CEO said, was anytime you can pair something with a capsule, do it. So if you have people on shakes, they can add just the vineyard. You know, think hair, skin, and nails. Anytime you can pair someone that shakes with the omegas, think about athletes. I think about my husband who has suffered multiple concussions as a collegiate football player. You know, there's a lot of kids that are out there playing soccer, bopping a ball on their head. You know, there's a lot of gymnasts that fall down and hit their head. So let's, you know, be thinking about the ways you can market that as a parent or a grandparent. And, you know, look at your genealogy. And if they're not on all products, let's go back and share those and get those follow-ups with them this week. Jamie, did you want to say anything else?
No, you finish it up with the follow-up. That's huge. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3,
I do have one question. And I don't know, Karen, if this is something you guys have previously covered, but it's just because I'm kind of a numbers person and I love the end of the month.
Yes.
Do all of you, just maybe by a hand up or a head shake, do you know how to track how close you are to your qualification towards the end of the month? Do you know how to figure that out?
Yeah, so we did cover that. I think it actually might have been the week before you joined in, Megan.
Okay, good.
We have been sharing that. I've shared the very first week we did this, we shared a PVC report, but this is a good reminder for all of you. So remember what we did in the beginning was we took their end of the month PVC versus their current. So we've done both. So remember, right now, you're not going to go to your end of the month. You're going to go to your current and run it. This is a great week to do that. Like Jamie said, you're 8 days out. So you run that current PVC. We're going to look at column 6, Jackpot. So on that column 6, you're going to take whatever your number is. If it's 475, it's 700, it's 275, it's 900, whatever that number is, you're going to subtract it from 1,000. And then after that, you're going to divide that number by 42. And it's really a little more, it's 42.38, but I'd rather you come a little lower so that you make sure you get all those points you need. So divide it by 42, and that's going to tell you how many more trios. We base everything on trios, and yes, all those points matter. Omegas and shakes and tower and all that. But 1,000 minus your number, and then divide it by 42, and that's going to tell you how many trios. So, maybe that would be part of our good homework this week, is when I post the homework, we would love to see how many more you need. We want to support you. We want to help you. Like Jamie said, there was a ton of you that were like, so close last month, and we want to kick you out of our group. We love you, but we want to make you go up to the next level group that you're supposed to be in for Fast Track. So great reminder, Megan. I'm glad you brought that up.
Awesome.
Kick it into gear. You got 8 days. Drive it like you stole it and see what we can get done.
I saw a team that had shirts that said that at the party, and I was thinking, so drive it like you stole it. But let's see that. So the homework post will go up. If you did not do the genealogy yet, do that. Color all over it. Mark it up. Let's see what we can do. And let's make, when we come back here next Monday, I want you guys to be done. I want you to be like, we don't need the last day of the month. We don't need qualifiers day. We did it. Kick us out. Give us a graduation song, because we haven't got to do that yet for anybody. So.
Well, you know what I love, and I was talking to my team about yesterday, is every time I go to a big box event, I use the energy from that event to have those really scary conversations.
Yes.
And even if you didn't go, just still sort of use it in a sense of, we just had our conference. Yes. And in knowing what I know now, and in hearing these stories and seeing all of these things and understanding even more this mission that we're on, and or learning more about this video, whatever that is that you want to use as your excuse to contact them, use it. Use that energy to have those kind of chicken list conversations of, oh my gosh, I just had to reach out to you because I just went to this conference and I wanted to tell you because. And to me, it always takes the pressure off of it just being that I wanted to, but rather, no, I'm now compelled to, because I was just there and it just gave me all this energy that I had to say it. And I would just go with it this week. Just go with it. Put it out there, because people aren't going to hate you for that, because they're going to go, oh, well, she's really excited because she was just at this thing and now she just needs to talk to me. And they'll be more open to it. I really, really think so. And I've always got really positive feedback. Even if it's negative, it's still in a nice way, compared to some of those scary conversations that you keep putting off because you don't feel like you have a good reason to. And I think when you pair it with kind of that conference feel, it oftentimes goes over really well.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to hit stop recording.